Hello there, it's your girl Daphne back with another video. This time I'm bringing you a massive meal prep before surgery, so let's get started. So this is taking place about a week ago before my dad had his recent surgery. So because my dad is the main cook, I wanted to make sure when he went out for surgery that my mom and him, once he got home, would have all of the food that they would need without having to, do too much cooking in the kitchen. So I planned out all of the items that I would be purchasing and making for them. So we're getting started with doing in the slow cooker. I'm going to be making some flap steak that I purchased at Costco. So I'm just going through and I'm seasoning it up with all the spices that I usually use, which is salt, pepper, garlic, a little Worcestershire sauce, powdered garlic, and also minced garlic. And then on top of that I put some chopped onions, and then I just put it in the slow cooker and I'm gonna let it cook for several hours. I think in this case I cooked it on high for about 4 hours. And then also I added in a spoonful of the Better Than Bouillon beef flavor, which makes it taste absolutely delicious. So I'd like to introduce myself again. My name is Daphne. On my channel, I do all things homemaking, which consists of cleaning, cooking, DIYs, decor, and more. I try to put out videos twice per week on Tuesday and Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love sharing different types of content. So if this sounds like something that is good to you, I hope that you subscribe. So have you guys ever done any type of meal prep, whether it's for yourself and your family for the week, or any family members? Leave me a comment down below and let me know, because I really enjoy cooking and I love to cook for others. So having this opportunity to be able to meal prep for my parents was amazing for me, just because I love cooking. Now I know there's a lot of people out there that don't enjoy cooking, so meal prep actually might be a good option for you as well, because you can just focus in on cooking for the entire week at one time, and you can have a bunch of different dishes going, and you can cook for 2 hours and you don't have to do anything for the next week. So think about that. I think it is a very good option. It's a time saver and I really enjoyed it. So one of the other meats that we're going to be doing is ground beef. So I put in 2 packs of organic ground beef. I purchased that at Costco's. And then I sauteed white onion, and then I added in white mushrooms that I chopped up. And I'm just going to be browning everything all in one pan. So I wanted this to have an Asian flavor, so I always go to H Mart, which is a place that I absolutely love to shop at. I like to try different types of ingredients. So I just went in and I added 2 to 3 tablespoons. I know I'm going to say it incorrectly. I believe it's Houshin sauce, but it tastes absolutely delicious. It's a little sweet and a little spicy, but the flavor is so good. So if you have not tried this type of sauce, I suggest that you check it out. You might be able to find it at your local groceries as well. So how many of you like broccoli? I know I love broccoli, and I do this roasted broccoli on a sheet pan. So I'm just preparing the broccoli, getting it nice and clean. I'm gonna pat it dry, and then I'm gonna season it in a bowl, and then I'm gonna be putting it on the prepared baking sheet. So what I like to do is use lemon. So I'm zesting the lemon before I cut it up. I'm putting the broccoli into the bowl, and then I'm just going to mix it with all the ingredients. Make sure that you put a lot of olive oil or whatever type of oil that you're going to be using, because it is very key for when you put it on the sheet pan so that it doesn't stick. Now for this broccoli, I usually cook it for about 15 to 20 minutes. I like for it to be a little crisp, and I cook it on 450 degrees in the oven until it's nice and tender. So the next thing that we're going to do is just prepare this fresh ham. I'm just going to be rinsing it off. I like to cook it with cloves. Some people like cloves, some people don't. I really like the nice peppery, I guess that's what you call it, flavor that it gives off, but I really enjoy it. So what I do is just cut it up and I insert the cloves into it so that it can give that nice spicy flavor. It's spicy. Spicy is the word. Okay, so a couple of hours have passed and the steak is completely done. So I'm just spooning off all of the liquid, and I'm going to reduce this down on the top of the stove, and then I'm going to add in a little cornstarch and butter, and that makes delicious sauce. So we're going to use that on the rice. So now I've let everything cool, because you do want to make sure everything is cool before you start packaging them up. So I'm putting in some rice and ground beef and broccoli in some of them. I was able to get 5 meals for my parents, as well as 2 dinners for the 3 of us at home. So all of this was able to spread very far. That's why I love meal prepping. Okay, so now that we have like lunch, dinner taken care of, we're gonna move on over to breakfast. So I am just shredding up some cheddar, sharp cheese. I'm going to be making breakfast burritos and also English muffin sandwiches. So we're just going to prepare our eggs. We're going to be scrambling them, and I'm going to be doing them two ways. One with sliced up ham in them, and then the second just plain eggs. I usually put milk, garlic, salt and pepper, and I just mix it up and I cook it in a skillet on top of the stove. Now these breakfast sandwiches and burritos are very easy to make. You basically can put any, whatever ingredients that you like. I just know that my parents like ham, eggs, and cheese, so I just gave them exactly what they like so that it's very easy for them. So for the burritos, I'm wrapping them in saran wrap because they can just pop them in the microwave if they want. Really easy. And then for the English muffins, I'm not going to be toasting the English muffins because I'm putting them in Reynolds wrap so that they can pop them in the oven. And by popping them in the oven, everything will get nice and toasted. So I don't want it to dry out or anything. So I won't be preparing the English muffins beforehand. So leave me a comment down below. What is your favorite breakfast items? I shared previously during, I think it was my first fall decorating video. I will link it in the cards. I shared a freezer prep French toast, which was delicious. And my mom watched that video and she ordered up a full loaf. So believe it or not, I did 2 loaves for my parents and they have been working on it ever since my dad came out of the hospital. So it is a hit in my family. So if you have not watched that video, I'm going to link it for you and I hope that you enjoy it. Okay guys, so I made my first delivery to my parents and now I'm back home and I'm going to continue on with meal prep. So I'm just preparing the cheddar cheese. We're going to be making next mac and cheese. This is not a baked macaroni and cheese. I shared previously my recipe for baked macaroni and cheese, so I will link that in the description and in the cards in case you want to look back and check out that recipe. This recipe is for on top of the stove, and I am using roughly about 2 cups of cheddar cheese and about a half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. And I am going to be using bow tie pasta, so I'm just seasoning the water. I let it boil and then I'm putting in the pasta, just cook it till it's al dente. And then I'm just straining it out, and then I'm going to start mixing all of the ingredients on top of the stove. Now, one key ingredient that I only started using, I think within the last year, is adding in a little sour cream. It makes your macaroni and cheese so creamy. So if you haven't tried it before, next time you make mac and cheese, just add a little sour cream in there and you will be surprised at the taste that it gives. So to start off, we just did a quick roux, which is flour and butter, and you just make sure that you cook the roux so that the flour, that floury taste is no longer there. And then you add in any type of milk that you're going to be using. I used a little half and half and regular milk. And then I just add in all of my seasonings. As usual, I use onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper. And then I'm adding in all of the delicious cheese. I'm melting it down, and then you're just going to throw in your pasta, coat everything, and then put that delicious sour cream on it, and just continue to mix so that everything is incorporated and everything is nice and thick and creamy. As I'm doing this voiceover, I am feeling so hungry. I think that I might be making mac and cheese tonight for dinner. So we're just going to be preparing the ham that I made yesterday, and we're going to be doing mac and cheese in two of them, and then we're going to be doing rice and gravy in the other. So this is basically, with the size of these containers, my parents are both able to have a meal. I didn't realize when I was making them how much food I was putting in each of them, but it's actually really good because I made double the amount of food that I thought I had made because the portions were so large. So they have, my dad had his surgery on September 2nd, and I'm doing this voiceover on September 13th, and they still have 4 meals, and I want to say at least 3 of the breakfast sandwiches and 3 of the burritos left, and about a half a bag of the French toast. So they're doing very well. So guys, I really enjoyed doing the meal prep and sharing them with you. So if you enjoyed, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Share with any friends and family that also might like my content. I want to remind you, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and have a blessed day.